I will be presenting on slam poetry and focusing on the poem Black Hole Mouth by Susie Q. Smith. What is slam poetry? Slam poetry is a type of competition where people read their poems without props, costumes, or music. After performing, they receive scores out of 10 from 5 randomly selected judges. Scores are awarded based on how much each judge likes a poem. Susie Q. Smith. Susie Q. Smith has been an active member of slam poetry since 2006. In August of 2014, she was promoted to be the executive director of slam poetry. Today, she still continues her career of being a slam poet. Here's a recording of Susie Q. Smith performing her poem.
You could be so pretty if you would just do this one thing. If you would just do this one thing. If you would just get in your place. Get in your place, Susie Q. I saved it for you. Get in your lane, Susie Q. You are too big for your britches, but you can hide in my bed. I made it for you. Get in your place, Susie Q. You should be more grateful. Some people don't even know where their place is. I saved this space for you. Maybe you should cover some of that up, Susie Q. Or maybe you should show it all. Or maybe you should shake it, Susie. Maybe you should shake it. I don't want it though, but you should want me to, and I might if you try sometimes. And what kind of name is that anyway, Susie Q? Is that some kind of cultural thing? And did that come from your mother's people? And what kind of people are they anyway? And what kind of people are you? And what are you, Susie Q? Who told you that you do not need permission to speak? Who are you to use words like that? How dare your mouth be so big and not smiling? And maybe you should be more quiet, and maybe you should whisper in my ear first before you speak out loud, Susie. Everyone can tell you don't belong here, and if your feet were not so big, Susie, and if you were not so black, Susie, or if you could just be black enough, or maybe if your hips could narrow and your lips tuck in, if your hair could be more polite, if your face would just apologize, always arguing with itself so publicly, if you could just be pretty in a way that doesn't scare me. And why you always gotta scare me, Susie? And why do you spill over all of the cups and be so impossible to fold into boxes? And where is the cage that can contain the inferno of your ideas? And why is your mouth on fire, Susie? Why is your mouth always on fire? If you could be more, if you could be more simple, if you could be less black hole, if you could suck yourself in and swallow without taking all of us with you, we could forgive you, Susie. We could forgive you. Come on.
In the first stanza, the poet is referring to someone telling Susie Q how she can be prettier and more accepted in the society she is in. The second stanza is saying that there is a specific place where Susie Q belongs. The third stanza refers to what Susie Q should do to be more accepted, and it can be assumed that Susie Q is supposed to catch the attention of males and others, and she needs to make them want her. You can infer this when the poet says, "I don't want it though, but you should want me to, and I might if you try sometimes." The fourth stanza is Susie Q's name being judged and questioned where she is from. The fifth and sixth stanzas are showing how Susie was being judged, and it was obvious that she didn't belong where she was because she spoke without permission. Susie needs to think before she speaks. The seventh stanza points out every flaw that is noticeable on Susie Q. It seems that her color is considered to be her major flaw because it is mentioned more than once. The eighth stanza represents the actions Susie didn't that stood out. Susie didn't have the acceptable mannerism. It also seems as though another one of Susie's flaw is that she always argues. And we can perceive that from the poem when the poet says, "Why is your mouth on fire, Susie? Why is your mouth always on fire?" In the ninth and final stanza, Susie's actions seem to be rubbing off on others, and it is unforgivable, and that is what the poet means when, "If you could suck yourself in and swallow without taking us all with you," is spoken. Susie is so different on the outside and so outspoken that if she would just step back from herself and not be so negative, maybe everyone would listen. And here's my works cited.